had a chance to go on early and catch a few different audience members, so that's why we're on early. Thus the title, Early Warning. Left it where I had it. A few more minutes here, let a few more people gather real quick. All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. So there's Saudi Arabia getting flooded there August 15th. That would be yesterday, but still a lot of this crazy weather all around the world. Okay. All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. Okay. And while we're going to load this up here, I'm going to take a minute to reverse it first. And thank you guys for taking a moment of your time to be here with this precious family. Okay. Oh, look at you. You look good in blue, Eric. I like that. All right. So, anyways, I would like to thank you guys for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family, okay? And when you made it to the end of the show, I think you'll understand what I mean and, well, uh, your identity and how precious you are to me, okay? Yeah, I'm terrible getting to my homework. I have to get to a live stream and find you in the chat and then pick you out, Eric, and then finally get you. So I get behind on some of my homework every once in a while, but finally updated some wrenches in there. There's a couple other people in there got some too. So if you didn't get one, don't feel left out. I just haven't gotten to you yet. All right. Well, thank you anyways for taking a moment of your time, okay? Because that's what it really boiled down to for me through this whole process, through all the courts, all the doctors, all the stuff that I went through, was if I could just get somebody's attention, if I could just get a moment of their time. You know, it's very precious information, very valuable information I got here. And if I could just get a moment of your time to show you, but I can't. So the people who do give me their time, it's well, you're well rewarded, aren't you? Okay. Thank you. And bless you. Now, if you've been watching what's going on here with eyes that see, it's probably a little disturbing. Well, you can see what we're getting going here. And, well, first off, we're just going to pull it on down and do our regular catch the opening frame. And then we'll go through it. That's okay. I'm almost in bed too. All right, here we go. Sorry, just talking to my chat. I never interact with my chat enough, so I need to treat my family members a little bit better. Okay, here we are. August 16th, 2024. Okay, opening frame 024. Guys, ready? Let me slide just a bit so I can grab that button. Okay, last night we were watching this weird little bending of the plasma right here. You see a little object right there, and we only got a little taste of this event. And as it proceeds, you can see this thing has gone whew, like an S shape. So there's definitely something back there bending light. Another little black object right there, I think you can make out pretty clear. I don't have to zoom in on that. But as we continue, you see this ring coming out right here? Our object is back right here. And this is a, well, like a damage ring spreading out across and around this spheroid-shaped object. And I've showed you this kind of activity before, and it's like in one of the intros to one of these channels. And it shows plasma hitting a invisible black spheroid and wrapping around it. And that's what's happened. And then there's a second wave that wraps around it. Now, at this point, as this wave is wrapping, the second wave of wrapping around it, do you see these spires coming out, turning, and then going? That's bending like that's where our spheroid is. We got another one coming out down here. Let me go one more frame. Is that the one I want? Right there, I think is the one I wanted. Should have taken note, but good enough here. We're capturing it, and we can always kind of jump around. Oh, this is the one with the streak through it. That's right. Anywho, you can see our object right in here. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about. This plasma streak going off and past it. Okay, this is our spread right here. Boom, boom, going down. Meanwhile, can you see this little moon? It's really close to our bigger object right here. Also caught in this, well, the damage rings as they go across them. And what? Oh, wait a second, not that. What I want to do is put that into motion, and while we're zoomed in there, okay, let that play for a second. You can see those waves spreading over a round spheroid object there, and all of our magnetic field lines crisscrossing. Okay, and if we can capture it one more time, I might have to go down and pause just a second here. But you can see those first CMEs wrapping around it. Whoops, we went too far. Oh, where'd it go? I'm gonna have to zoom back out. Sorry, I was trying to do it while we were zoomed in there so we could see it a little bit better. Let me slide this over a little bit better. There we go. All right, backing into it a little bit. You can see right here how our plasma has come out, hit it, and then curved and taken a different direction. It's bending light, okay? There's our object back in there. And one of these, well, one of these shows I'll show you has a little example of a little thing hitting a black sphere and then wrapping around it. Actually, you know what? Let's see if we can pull that up right now. What channel is that? Actually, you know what? I got a different image right here that I want to kind of show you as a reference as to what's going on there. All right, so here we are at this image. You can see our black round spheroid. This time it doesn't have a bunch of plasma covering it. There's some streaking off the top. Here it is splattering and stretching around. This hitting, turning, and going, streaking off the top of a round spherical object. You got to remember, this is three-dimensional out in space. We're just looking at it on a two-dimensional screen. Okay, so you got to remember that's a three-dimensional object. It's a big round spheroid out there, and it's right in there. It's very hidden and cloaked. These things bend light, they absorb light, but the flow asymmetries and the way stuff streaks off of them is what gives them away. That's how you can see them. You see our plasma coming out, splattering and spreading out and going around it. And then as we continue, another little trailing moon that set off, that triggered the trailing moon right here that triggered another CME. Okay, and then another one probably slivering or splicing off, coming off down here. Another one triggering another CME up here. So when the sun either approaches this thing or this thing approaches the sun, the magnetic exchange rips some of the little planetoids, some of the satellites, what I call satellites, which are just a orbiting body around another bigger body. Okay, that's all I mean by satellite, is something that orbits something else. Okay, there's your spread going over your spheroid object. Another one going over it, and then you can see these streaks right here. These streaks are really starting to paint where our flow is. Right there's a good one. You can see this little moon here, or shadow of one, something right in here, bigger one right in there, something right on the fringe over here. Okay, so this thing has multiple little moons, satellites, whatever accompanying it, and when it interacts with the sun, the magnetic exchange rips a few of them off. It's like hitting a rack of pool balls and scattering, breaking a rack of pool balls. And you can see this stuff flailing off the back here a little bit. I'll just kind of put that into motion again. Whoops. And you can see stuff flowing over it as it approaches and then passes by the sun. Or the sun passes by it. Okay, we just seen a couple before. This is like the third one. And they come in like the 3-pack, and then we get a little break, and then see this little trailing moon here, and another one here. But we'll get them 3 big ones in a row, and then a break for a minute, and then 3 again, and then a break, and then 3 again, and then a break. So Seems to be this repeating pattern. Okay, anyways, we got past that. Now let's get on into our solar ham here. Who? Oh, thank you for liking and sharing. You know, when you share this channel, it's a lot different than sharing a different than any other channel. It not only blesses the person who you shared it with, but it also blesses you because you are, well, helping others. Do you understand how that works? You know what I'm talking about. Let's get to business. Solar flux indice 225. We're down 2 points. It's not much. We're still in the red at 225 here. So, oof. But up 5 sunspots, still in the yellow, 169. Areas still in green, down 200. Okay, what we want to talk about real quick here is the, one more time there, 200. There you go. Our 3784, our, well, bipolar sunspot. Let's just call it that, okay? Because it's, well, it's acting different. It has a blue on the top and red on the bottom instead of left and right. So, and it kicked the next flare at our face a couple days ago that's due to hit here pretty soon. Okay, all these other little regions seem to have kind of quieted down. 3788, that's about it. Everything else kind of quiet. We come over here to the limb and we see 3792 and 3790 starting to round the limb. This will be our next player, okay? Probably something further out here, way outside the screen. Magnetic field touching this magnetic field, causing this to roil. Got to remember the corona of the sun. The corona. It's not the surface of the sun. It's the corona of the sun. Much like the Earth's little dynamo makes a magnetic field around the planet. Well, the sun has a giant dynamo. All right. And its dynamo is so powerful that its magnetic field emits light. Okay, the sun's magnetic field is so strong, that's its corona. That's where the light comes from. Okay, get it? It's a huge dynamo is all it is. And it's so strong that its corona is, the magnet is so strong it produces light. Okay, now that's pretty impressive. Only God could do that. All right, as we back out, slide on over and scroll on down. Here goes X-ray flux for the day, okay? Kind of our little bumpy ride. We got to see what happened there already. You know, it doesn't really match necessarily the activity we saw because this instrument's between us and the satellite, or us and the sun, and some of that activity is off to the sides. Meanwhile, we're already going into tomorrow with a little bit of activity already here. Would you like to take a look at this right here, possibly? No? You don't want to take a little peek into the future? Before I even start to do that, let's make sure we got some data there. Uh-oh, looks like it might not be good. Well, let's just do it anyway. Oh, looky there. Not much to look at. You see our 20 frames right here. Look at this inflow going in. Okay, that is not your typical, well, we've seen this plenty of times, but this is not your normal activity around the sun. All right, possibly when that object goes by or we go by it, all right, there's all kinds of little moons and satellites. This might be debris from some of the cores. You know, those are a bunch of cores orbiting another bigger core. And some of the debris that got, you know, when it shattered, that's trailing along might be getting sucked into the sun here. Or this could just possibly be a bunch of other objects about to come in and bounce off. But I don't see anybody else addressing this subject, okay? And there's no answers out of NASA. Nobody even thinks, hey, what's going on here? Everything's supposed to be going out. Does anybody even question that stuff anymore? Well, I do. And so does my audience. And we see this stuff going in, okay? So it might ricochet, come out at different angles. And it's not just here. It's going on over on this side as well, up here. Okay, you can see a bunch of them coming in here. And I'm thinking maybe the debris field or debris tail, maybe, smaller little cores that were scattered around the big one. However, this works, it looks like we have trailing debris that didn't escape the gravity of the sun and it's getting pulled back in and, well, reacting. You see this thing coming out, turning around, and going back in? Okay, you see this thing come out, turn around, go back in, right? Oh, you don't? Well, here, let's just zoom in for you. Now you see it. Okay, so some of this activity is going in, coming out, bouncing, going around, probably hitting some magnetic field lines, hitting a corona, get shot back out, pulled back in, shot back out. And this is not like plasma from our CME. These all look round, they all look solid, they all, I don't know, maybe it's a fleet of UFOs going to recharge their batteries at the sun. Who knows? I'll let you be the judge of that, but you can see what's going on there. Okay. That's all I'm trying to do is just show you what I see going on there. And sometimes we see some disturbing stuff, don't we? All right, so there's a little peek into tomorrow's activity already. We'll find out what happens with the rest of this. And then something else going on up here. Not too big, but I see these little white streaks stretching out on the sides right here, the very tail. So something coming out of there as well. We'll find out more tomorrow. But meanwhile, back to our report. So there's this activity that we just looked at right there. Now, let me pull back a little bit. Ding, 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 ding. All right, here we go. 3-day geomagnetic forecast. Nothing for tomorrow, but we're looking at something G1 on the 18th. Now, I showed you a big object that came off with this CME. So this G1 might come in a little stronger than just G1, all right? So I pray I'm wrong. I pray it doesn't because I don't want anything stronger. But I seen an object trailing with this thing. So if we do get a stronger than G1, it won't be a surprise here. And I explained why. Moving on. X flare 20%, M flare 70. Your moon's 93% illuminated. Pretty cool. Here you are, 3784, beta gamma delta, but declining. Otherwise, 3780 went beta gamma. It's declining as well. Our KP and Aurora's really calm right now. We're way down, at 1, so that's good. But we got energy coming, so that's going to change in the next day or two. No events that they're logging, but let's read this really quick with AR 3780 now turning. You know what I'm put that picture in there too, so you guys get to see while I read while I see. You guys can enjoy a little better. There we go. Now back to with AR 3780 now turning onto the west limb. We look to the southeast limb where newly assigned 3790 ding, ding, is turning into view. Now, what looks to be larger alpha magnetic sunspot is also trailing behind it. AR 3790 appears to be growing, but is currently producing minor C flares. This region will be monitored as we continue to view it. Elsewhere, the other main sunspot region of interest is 3784, was stable over the past 24 hours. The M-class solar flares will remain possible as we head into the weekend with a lower chance for major X flares. But new bigger spot right there coming into view. We got 3790 is our new little patch to watch. This kind of a little indicator, something going on out there. When we come back over here, you see these spires and spikes. It's the same region as that, and it's those spires and spikes that we see point like like compass needles at another inbound magnetic field, right? Which is an object with a magnetic field. So these things kind of point at what's coming next. And here we have our sunspots reacting in that same fashion because of the magnetic field. I want to open the tracker because we're lacking some tracking. What we're doing here, nothing new on that one. Still impact here between 18th and 19th. Okay, guys. More energy being absorbed right there. I'm a stickler for absorption. Let's move on. We already did that one yesterday. I want to come over to this one now. Okay, minor geomagnetic storm watch. Wednesday's X1 class solar flare from sunspot AR 3784 hurled a faint CME towards Earth. The minor G1 class geomagnetic storms are possible when it arrives. Okay, NOAA models predict August 18th. We're going to even take a little NOAA model dive. Wow, look at that. Should have been that. Should have been the thumbnail, huh? Anywho, right here is impact. We're just going to play that really quick anyway, since we pulled it up. Okay, the X flare came right at us, right off the front of the sun, straight at us. No dodging that one. It's not going north, south. It's coming straight at us, so we will be getting an impact right there. Where's the density? Okay, density right here. Not, well, about 20. I want to see the velocity. The velocity is not that fast. Okay, so that's why it's kind of arriving a little late. It seems to be the velocity slowing down before it strikes. But another hit right there. Okay, back out of that. We already seen it. NOAA's models predict the 18th. NASA's model lean a little more towards August 17th. Either way, it should be a minor storm. Okay, we know it could have the potential to do more. Rocket fuel over Kattegat. Katie got what? Nobody outclasses like SpaceX. Outgasses like SpaceX. Pretty cool, huh? Probably freak out you seeing that in the sky. SpaceX. I'll let you guys come over and read this. What I want to talk about is ballistic stuff that goes ballistic. You know, like satellites and SpaceX and other things that go outside the atmosphere. You know, that go ballistic, like missiles, stuff like that. Might have a little problem with space weather coming in. Okay, so we made it through that. Now let's get on over here. Bring it on, green sky. All right, so here we are. Are you kidding me just now? Okay, well, that's refreshed. Sorry, but you can see we're currently in another session right now, another grinding session, another very intense frequency blast from 0 down to at least 30. Okay, very intense. We had this today, and then a little bit of rough ride right there. Probably you guys feeling a little frayed, a little rough around the edges, a little frayed, kind of like that. Maybe like you've had your finger in a light socket part of the day type effect. All right, and just as we were starting to kind of, bunch of pressure built up here and then relieved pretty quick. We went back to normal, scratch. Now pressure building up again. This one's a little peculiar looking. We got this sudden gap right before it. That's what some of these, they just start too quickly. Even though this looks like an instant blast, you see the tapering effect down here. So it started off kind of gradual, got really intense, and then tapered off, got intense, tapered off. This one just kind of nothing, and then bing. So sometimes we interact with the object, and I believe the object's magnetic field or any kind of radiation, geomagnetic radiation coming off of it is affecting the ionosphere, and we're getting these strange readings also from that. This one, I don't know. This is kind of hard. This one might be pressure building up again. Okay. And the Earth has had this new kind of cycle where we take on pressure, we start grinding, and then as it tapers off, we have all these vents, earthquakes, and SO2 emissions that seem to be regulating the pressure as it builds. It'll start to grind and then it expands, and we do this expanding and contracting. And here we are grinding again, having very intense frequencies all the way through, okay? A sign that pressure is built up as well. We're probably due for a good earthquake or volcanic blast here. When you see this, that's when you're due for an earthquake or volcanic blast, is when it's intense like this, okay? Um, Also, as well. Now let's come on over here. I want to take you into our weather. Okay, here's our hurricane. It caught that loop and is heading out, all right? Thankfully. Meanwhile, over here, this thing didn't hit Japan. It's still kind of off the coast right here. It might cycle up, but we'll go through this later on tonight when we get to our thermal report. Okay, so there's a couple little storms still swirling around out there. Now, what I want to do is come on over here, put it at 850. Just take a look around. There's your storm right there. Because at 850, we start to see the, whoa, what happened here? He looks worried. One eye, his nose is like, ah. All right. Anyways, we got this storm going on here. This whole complex has kind of changed a little bit. Our whole structure's changed, especially this feature right here. We'll get into this in a little bit. I just kind of want to take a peek back over at this since we got it set at this level. Our sandstorm, ooh, we got this recycling effect here. All right, so this one stayed offshore. Now let's get over to our sandstorm now. Particulates are not good because water adheres to them and creates more thunderstorms, but particulates are good at also stopping the production. So this sandstorm that's coming off of Africa is it's getting broken up here. Do you see how this rotation here has broken up our sand plume? It broke off a chunk here, but that might be severing our sand production here pretty soon, you guys. We'll see. But everything that kind of comes off here is in that vortex, reach of vortex. This rotation right here may have just screwed up our sandstorm protection for a while. Meanwhile, we get in a gap here. We're getting a gap there. We're getting a gap here. This thing has managed to like pull a lot of the sand along with it and pull it out of the region, kind of clearing this area. We still have some intense right in that region, but part of it's getting sucked up into this and the rest getting blown away. And then after that, doesn't look like we might get this little bit here, but after that, it might come to an end here for a minute. We'll see. There's still a little bit of flow coming off right here going, in this way. So that might be our saving grace. We'll find out once this moves out of the way and changes our conveyor belt structure back to, well, what it is. All right, so there's your sand. Wait, not yet. Not even close. North Africa. We come over here. Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, Iran. All these guys are about to get buried with sand. Okay. They got some issues going on over there. And then we got, up here, Gobi Desert. Actually, Gobi Desert kind of died off. This one's kind of sand from the Gobi going more this way now. Meanwhile, we've seen this change in flow here. It used to just come and slam India and go right across it. We have a hot spot down here that's pulling stuff down and around India. So there's still got, a lot of sand, but it's not just going straight across like it used to be. Okay. All right, so that is all of that in a bag of chips. Okay, now let's come on over to our SO2. Please, Lord. Yeah, that one. Thank you. Okay. Here we are. Country divided, bleeding out on one side. One little spot right there where it's not, but that'll probably flooding or something, and it'll fill in and continue, or evaporate and continue. Over here, volcanic perforations all over the place. Mm. You see how it's really, look at this, it really diminished up in here. There were a bunch of dark plumes in there yesterday. Are we on, yeah, that's now. What I want to do here is put on the fires. Thank you, Lord. All right, we're getting there though. So we still have fires way up in here, but look how the plumes in the area have like all reduced. All of our intense plumes, these ones have kind of, here where our fires were, these ones have reduced in pressure. Okay, we still got fires there, but I see a big difference up there in Canada. Meanwhile, coming down into America, you can see that we have these SO2 plumes, and now we have fires happening at them in Washington, here in Oregon, at this spot as well, here in California, some of them even down here in Southern Cal. It had reached all the way down here in Mexico. That one, yeah, I might have to call that one. That fire right there might be because of an SO2 plume right there. But mainly, it had traveled all the way down to Mexico. That seems to have retreated a little bit. It's still in California, and maybe this one little spot here in Arizona. But other than that, nothing really east of the line here. Okay, these ones I don't count. That does not match up. None of that does. And there's people that use fire for cooking and heating and stuff out here as well. So why are we getting color brightness? Something going on there? Okay, we're on brightness. All right. Sorry, just had to get some wavy lines out of there. So doesn't seem to really be affecting anything east of that line right now. That's good. All right, let's take off these fires so we can go around the world real quick. Okay, at SO2. Now, really diminished up in this area. That's good news. It seems to kind of calm down through this region as well. We still got some, but it's calmed down. Meanwhile, down through Mexico, look at Cuba, Jamaica, very intense. Okay. Here's South America, emissions up in that region, going all the way down. And what I used to do is I would zoom in on this and show you all these different little squares are all different individual sites. Okay, as you go up the coast, these are all just multiple perforations all the way down. Okay, now we got this area used to be really thick with these little dots. Okay, it's all cleared out. That's been our quake area. Since relieving a bunch of pressure, we've seen the SO2 emissions in that region diminish. Meanwhile, right next door here at our fulcrum point, our weak spot, we see a lot of SO2 there. This one kind of calming down. Well, they seem to have calmed down just a tad bit. Okay. As we come down here, you can see this whole region usually all lit up purple. It's just kind of right through here a little bit. You can still see this huge plume of SO2 that it blows out into the ocean right there. But this SO2 relieves pressure and keeps the magnitudes down on the plate boundary right here. Quake magnitudes down. Stop off in Hawaii. Oh, I could use a good beach. Put my feet in the water. Oh, yeah. It'd be nice. Anyways, SO2 emissions coming out of Oahu. That's fine. I'd rather see that than volcanic activity. Bunch of people right there. A little bit out of Maui and mainly Hawaii here. They can have a volcano over here because it's not so populated. So I'd rather see pressure come out of this. Would you say Shastina there? Yeah. Senator, I'm wondering if the mobs of people traveling here will be affected by the fires. Yeah, yeah, they will be. In fact, there might just be roadblock type effect thing like that as well. Also, we got weird kind of signatures here, like sometimes, and we can see. I don't know. What do you guys think that is? Somebody like a cat smiling or something? Let me pull back. I see whiskers right here. So it's like a cat or something. Cat in a hat, maybe? I don't know. Wouldn't be the first time. You see, this eye is differently shaped. There's. Oh. Dude, God's handiwork. You could totally tell. One eye clear like this, the other one cut out this way. You can see the nose, the mouth's a little offset. It's like three-dimensional looking at you this way. Very clever. He's very, very clever. All right, now let's move on. I want to get this backed up to their time zone. Thank you, Lord. Okay, still very high pressure in this region. Let me get it just right. Thank you. Okay, it has crept back up into this area, though. Okay, that area diminished, but it's filled back in. Same with the Korean Peninsula. I mean, there's only a couple of spots in the Korean Peninsula where it's not. Right there and right there. Japan, most of the island, SO2. You see our storm right off the coast, pulling SO2 into the storm. Okay, gonna smell like rotten eggs. Meanwhile, here at Taiwan, this little spot, our fulcrum point, look how defined that fulcrum point spot is. Everything, all kinds of CO2 coming out right around it and everything. Remember, we saw a little increase in pressure in this region, and we saw a magnitude 6 earthquake. We needed that to relieve pressure in the area, but it did not seem to affect it at all. It seemed to have been a result, as a result of new pressure in the area. A jump in magnitude here. So we might see some bigger quakes and stuff coming out of this region if it broke loose and now is emitting something there. Okay. Well, I'm watching that like a hawk. All right, here. SO2 emissions as well. What we really want to check down here is Java, the purple island of Java. And our two good sites right there spewing pretty good. Meanwhile, down through here, that's a little darker today. Interesting. It seems sometimes we get pressure down on the southern hemisphere and relief on the northern. And other times the other way. It's Australia, all their spots for all you folks down under. Okay. I love my Aussies. I love my Kiwis. They're good people. Easy going, laid back, hard working, honest, brave, crazy. They're fun, dude. I love them. All right. Anyways, back here to New Zealand, really starting to fill in here with the SO2, White Island going off. Meanwhile, the main part of the Christchurch and stuff having strong emissions now. All right, so that place is starting to show its signs as well. Now over here at India. India has darkened in, all right? You see this one little region right here? There's probably flooding or something going on in that region right there that has kept SO2 emissions coming out of the ground. But when it dries up, they'll continue. What I'm going to watch now is the SO2 emissions coming out of this region and what goes down here. Because I know what's going on in the spiritual realm, and, well, he's not too happy with that place right now. So it would be well, I just seen fires happen in Turkey just recently or something when I was on my way back. I'm like, what? Fires in Turkey? So yeah, if you know anything about the Bible and all the different religions, you can see what's going on here. Okay, that's what's going on. This is blatantly obvious. Then we also have way up here at the top of the planet here, up in Siberia, SO2 emissions because we have all that heat and pressure, coming out of this region at the top of the world. Okay, now we did that. No SO4 tonight. Let's go to the oceans now. Everybody take your deep breath. Here we go. I want the surface temperature anomalies, and I want them. Ow. Thank you, Lord. Okay, this thing kind of changed in structure. Not as intense. It looks to have kind of diminished a little bit in intensity. The little guy is changing shape, whatever. Looks more like he's singing on a microphone now. Anyways, here's a hot spot growing right down here. That's not good. Okay, we already have plenty of hot water in there. Our cold water here that was the saving grace, long gone. Okay, meanwhile, hot plume growing off of here, off of Baja right here. That looks new. And now look at this. This had broken away and was more organized up here. Our comet tail is kind of coming back here in strength. We had a good separation right here, but now here's a new plume right here. Remember, we had good separation in between these two. There's a new little spot, and this. So all of this region right here is kind of changed. Look at Tamumasi. It's really kind of increased here. A big cold spot right there and right there now. Wow, we have just seen a really big change in structure here, or pattern at least. Now, you see the finger coming on down and reaching out to Taiwan here, coming off of this. What the heck? No. No. You see this finger coming off right here and about to touch Taiwan right here, okay? That's where we're seeing the pressure build up. And we need earthquake activity out of this area. It seems that since it's kind of locked up or whatever, that we're starting to see emissions on the ocean floor in this region here. You see these volcanic islands right here. When we go over the earthquake report, when we look at the map, you'll see kind of this region has all kinds of, seamounts and little underwater volcanoes. So, getting dangerous right there. Meanwhile, cold water inundation right on the backside. You got hot and you got cold. I don't know if that's going to be enough to cause vorticity, but we will see. Meanwhile, look how cold the water is coming out of Java here. Our spot that's relieving pressure is actually must be pulling up some really cold water from another strata. Because that really bright white blue. Let me pull up the legend. That's way over here. Okay, that's what you see up by the Arctic. All right, here, let me just kind of show you. Well, not anymore. What was I thinking? Right here, though. Here's some of that cold water still. All right, you see the coloration. That's cold water right there. We got that coming out of here, right next to the equator. There's got to be some kind of strata, a leak in the strata. Things have shifted down below. You know, magma moves around underneath as the Earth shifts and well, as it spins. We have currents and um, flows of magma down underneath. You get a perforation in the crust. It could change flows, crack some strata down below, and then release water. You know how they were finding water in the strata of Mars. You seen that article yet? Yeah, it wasn't in the ice on the poles. No, they found it in the, what I mean by strata is in the crust, trapped in the crust. Okay. Looks like we have a little break, and it's really cold water right there. That's kind of caused some vorticity there. All right, let me get back to business. A little hot spot there. Here's our one at India. Okay, and then we come into here again, and we got all this area coming down here. We have kind of chilled right there for a minute, but we have cold water here and hot water there, and that's what's created the vortex here in a minute. Look at this. What? Now we got a new hot spot emitting hot water right here at the equator, right where we're starting to see La Nina take effect, this cold water inundation at the equator here. Now we're going to get El Nino instead or whatever. We'll see what happens there. That's a new spot, and this little one right off of it here. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and put on the wind. Not the wind. There we go. All right. Now you can see how our heat signatures are affecting our wind patterns and guiding our storms. Okay, this has changed the game. No longer are our storms being guided by the lower jet or upper jet stream. Actually, the jet streams are being guided now by this lower currents. Okay, you got hot air that comes off the hot water. You got cold air that comes off the cold water. It's the same correlation, air to water, basically, in these temperature maps. Do you understand that? Pretty close air correlations, all right? Hot air rises, cold air rushes in to replace it, and you get vorticity. You see our hot, cold, and you see our vorticity. No wonder why that storm really never moved on shore. But it's sitting there. These winds are whipping around, just lashing northern Japan up there. Okay, a total change down here in our conveyor belt structure. Used to go kind of more across and down, and then it changed into going up here, and now we have a cold spot right here that opened up. That's the hook in the nose right there. And then all this heat is drawing that air up there. You got, look, hot, cold, rotation. Hot, cold, rotation. And now they come together, combined, and are shooting straight up through there. It goes up through there, up into the North Atlantic. The Arctic Circle. And as we come up here, you can see these heat plumes are reaching out. Whoops, let me take the wind off right here. You can see these heat plumes reaching out, and we're getting heat signatures underneath the North Pole. Okay? The heat signatures are hotter up here in the North Pole than they are, say, down here. And then look at the Hudson Bay, which is usually always cold. There's one little patch of cold water right there. Okay, barely some cold water left in that region. And that looks like about it. Now, look at all this hot water coming up off of the north up here. This is going to melt a lot of ice, and they're going to have a lot of flooding in this region up here. When all that floods, it's going to, affect the land. It's going to affect the water, the sea levels. That might be kind of a saving grace too. It might actually kind of cool things off a little. But look at this. Look around Iceland now. Iceland surrounded by warm water. There's one last little cold patch. You can see how all of this cold water's been pinched against the coastline here because of this heat plume out here. Okay. Now let's put on our winds again here. Sorry. And I'll let you see your new flow pattern. Okay. All heat induced. Now we have a vortex rotating the opposite way that's taking our sand plumes, killing them, and turning them around here. Let me put it right there. Okay, our sand plumes come off. They used to come straight across. Now all of a sudden there's a reason to turn around and get sucked back into there. So you might see a big recycling sand plume going right here. But hopefully this little band right in between here will fill in and still continue to feed sandstorms across the Atlantic here. We need those sandstorms now. You see these heat signatures popping up here, right? We have dodged many bullets so far, and that's good. But let me do something here. I want to take you to our standard sea surface temperatures here too as well. And you can see same kind of correlation here. Okay? And we get a break off of sand and something forms right here without any sand. Look at all the hot water. It could change from a tropical storm right here into cat 6 really quick. Okay? We don't need anything coming through there, so let's just pray that this pattern kind of, it's just really careful. It's really delicate when it shifts like this. And you can see how this heat signature is reaching up into here. Look, this water down here is cooler than the water up there. Crazy. And then this is really getting hot through there. And we'll leave that right there for a second. Okay, now you can see how the heat signatures, the temperature of the water is, well, it usually always kind of controls the storms a little bit as far as productivity, but this is way different. These air patterns are actually copying the heat signatures now. No longer is our jet stream really in control. It's the heat signatures off the bottom of the ocean, or the heat signatures in the water, let's just say. Big pattern change right there. That's crazy. And then over here, still, you see these two flows. This upper, here, let me stop bouncing around for a minute. Just hold still, Brian. This flow coming together with this flow pointing right at this region, okay? Then we also have, see this guy, he looks like he's blowing a trumpet or whatever. And where it's coming out is hitting right at Spain. Remember I was telling you watch out for Spain, and I keep showing you over and over stuff hitting Spain. And this is why. Don't be surprised when this hurricane, after it hits Bermuda, comes out here, gains strength, and hits Spain. Or, peels off and goes up into this region right there. Meanwhile, look out, England and Ireland, you guys are getting all this feed hitting you. We still have cold, hot right next to each other and vorticity up here. Can you see it right there? Good. Now it's pulling air down through here, rotating it back up. Boom, 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 boom. So we have a new oscillation. Look at this. This is spinning air out from the middle. What? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No. That's not supposed to happen. I'm going to have to go pray about this right here. Can you tell that that is way out of the norm? You see all of our other activity. Do you see how that's spiraling from the center outward? Very, very interesting. Kind of comes over like these ridges and then follows down the coastline, whips around the coastline. It's almost as if the land has been formed by this kind of pattern before. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, like a Picasso face, huh? Yeah. Very different right here. I'm going to be watching Greenland. We might be seeing some Quaker volcano activity come out of there or something. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm going to watch that carefully. Something down below geomagnetically might be spinning around down in there. Where is that? That's Greenland. Underneath the ice down there, we got maybe just cold air emanating from the ice fields here, just kind of spreading out and being pulled in all these different directions. But strange how kind of matching the pattern of the land. So it's just, okay. I'll let you be the judge of that as well. If you see anything else doing that, let me know. But I don't see anything else on the planet doing that. Maybe it's about to take off and launch into space. It's just one big, huge craft covered with ice and it's warming up. It's going to levitate and fly away. It's going to rapture. The whole island is just going to rapture. No, I'm joking. All right. Very, very odd signatures today. Just crazy stuff here. In fact, I'm not going to leave that on there. What I want to talk about here a little bit too over here for you guys, especially the Marf audience and stuff, and Adam and those guys over here at Washington and Oregon. You see, this is pressing against the coast now. See this little yellow finger come out and reach here. Okay, here's our fulcrum point in Northern California, just above that. Okay, so keep that in mind. We're going to come over to the quake report. Whew. You guys doing okay in there? Take a deep breath because here we go again. You want to take a break so you can go to the bathroom and wipe or get a drink or something? All right, never mind. 4.2, 374, not our deep quake. That's mid range 374. Okay, so, well, not even a full 4.5 that we're used to. So a little less on the magnitude. Here, though, we have a 5.7 down at 113. Now, this is not on the plate boundary down at 113. You see these volcanic islands. You see these little seamounts running all along here. Okay, where there's one that barely crested the water right there. Here's a couple. So maybe making a new seamount or something right down there. Yeah, smoke break. Be right back. Okay, I'll take a smoke break too. Meanwhile, nothing going on right here. We got this little, yeah, Crescent City, yes. This little guy right here leaking two SO2 emission sites, reducing pressure, kind of like a slow leak in a bicycle tube. Okay, keeping the magnitudes down and activity down in that region. We also have volcanic activity through these islands as well. We're going to get to that one. 4.6 down at 25. 4.4, 162, Volcanic Island. Here we are up at Oh yeah, you can take me with you. Take us with you. There we go. 4.9. Dude, that's a record on the 4.9s. I mean, dude, what the list must go to the sun and back on the 4.9s, huh? That's why you know what we do with 4.9s here. All right, now right here, this is south of Taiwan, where we've been seeing energy releases before. Okay, little volcanic island down here on this ridge. Now to the Piece de la Resistance. Oh, it's almost in the fulcrum right there. I'll take that. That's close enough. 4.3 at 17 on land too. Okay, we need more of that activity. Okay, you're gonna see more. It's starting to move. Okay, it had been locked up for about a week or two, or maybe even longer. We hadn't seen much quake activity, and it was all south. So now that it's kind of moving around, and we see a bunch of yellow and a bunch of pressure and heat growing in that region, expect to see some more magnitude quakes out of there. I showed you the Schumann rattling right now, so here we are having quake activity 5.2 at the surface here, but that's not on our plate boundary. That's down here in this trench again. Well, that's pretty darn close. Oh boy. I just seen something. Okay, here we go. We got to talk about Japan here for a minute. They just had a quake right here that's on this plate. Here's a quake on this peninsula plate with the second one. Here's a quake over on this Asian plate. Don't be surprised we see a quake inside this peninsula soon, okay? Meanwhile, here in Japan, opposite side, 4.4 at the surface. Here is 4.8 down at 53. We have lots of heat, lots of magma releases, steam, whatever going on here on the ocean floor. Excuse me. Rude to yawn in your ear. Okay. Meanwhile, back up here, top of Japan, 4.5 down at 98, Volcanic Island. You know, earthquake activity at a volcanic site. Here we go, 5.2 at 169. We haven't seen an earthquake on the on this peninsula in a while, the Kamchatka Peninsula, because we have so much volcanic activity on that island. So obviously not enough because it just kicked out of 5.2. So something else going on, pressure building up down in here also, and just released 5.2 there, 5.2 right there. So little bump in our squirrel. Yeah, a little bump in the magnitude right there. I see that 5.7. All right, coming into this region. Well. In the Holy Land, we have a 4.8 at the surface. Probably just rocked those people again. I don't think they're getting a message, are they? They just aren't paying attention, huh? They just don't watch YouTube or what? I don't know. Oh, maybe they just read the Bible wrong or something. I don't know. Okay, Bubba. You want to participate too? You can come in here. All right. The door's open if you need to get through. All right, sorry, got the kitty. Meanwhile, 4.8. That should kind of ring bells in the churches there, don't you think? 4.8 at the depth of 10. Don't be surprised we see some more activity out of that. Okay. Meanwhile, we will all kinds of activity going on down through this region, just not being shown on the map. Okay. Now, Fulcrum Point Quake 4.1 down at 130. It really thick crust right there. What, Bubba? I'm doing a show. Probably some earthquake activity going along up in here too, but they don't really report on all that stuff. Oh, this is what I'm looking for down here. 4.9. Dude, another 4.9. I know, Bubba. Right in between the volcanic islands and the plate boundary right there. So We got down at 80 right there. These are volcanic islands, and that's like one big long flank. Do you see this one big bulge is like one flank of a bunch of little volcanoes all connected together there? See how that works? On the flank of one multi-headed volcano is our 5 down at 80. Okay, let me get in here, do all magnitude, and zoom on in to Marca. And as we get on up here, you can see that there's been a little quake activity along here going on up into Alaska. Let me just check this critter. What are you doing? Oh, we're trapped. We were trapped. We got one. All right. My buddy. All right. Magnitude check real quick here. Right on the ridge, 3.2 down at 35. This doesn't. Oh, that's Volcanic Island. 3.3. Yep. So mid-range 3 energy going through this region. Come up, check some of these. 3 there. Fulcrum point 2.5. Some of this latest activity is 2 magnitude range. Okay, inside the fulcrum 1.7. Okay, good. Multiple fulcrums right there. I'll explain that multiple times. There's the one inside right here, the actual plate boundary, the bay itself, and the mountains behind it. Then the next mountain range behind that, right there. I wish my hand wasn't so numb and I could control my mouse. That range right there is a fulcrum point. And then there's another one right there. And then a really big one going like that. Okay. Back away, you can see they're just like waves stacked up, like snow stacked up when you push a shovel. Okay, as we come on down here, get into the Juan de Fuca area. All right, we didn't see, I showed you we seen that heat intrusion coming right in through this area, this little crack, probably coming right through there. Meanwhile, a couple of fulcrum point quakes are not very big, but a little bit of pressure came in. Bingo, right there. And then let me do a quick comparison here. I think right about there is good with our. All right. Here's your Crescent City point right there. Crescent City. And then there's your second little point sticking out up there. So here's your Crescent City and your second little point. Between the second point and Crescent City, halfway right there, is that finger intrusion coming right into the shore right there. Between this and this, right in here, watch out, we might see a quake right in this region right here pretty soon, okay? Right in that region right there. And you can see why I said that. There's a reason why I said that. It's not like I'm just throwing a guess out there, trying to make a prediction or anything. I'm just warning the people of that region, watch out. There could possibly, you might get some kind of activity there because look, and this was making a comeback. This cold water had reached back out and was making a comeback. Well, not anymore. It's still holding tough right along this northern part of California and down into the Baja, but right, whoops. Also, up here at the Puget Sound or Columbia River right here, it's touching. See, it's pinched off right there and right there. That's going to be, well, right here and right up there. All right, so everybody along that area, hold on tight, watch carefully. We need some more earthquake activity along the Juan de Fuca to diffuse some of that pressure and that energy. All right. Sorry, I'm bouncing all over, but All right, nothing pushed inland because we had fulcrum point quakes. Meanwhile, geysers doing their job, microquaking, a lot of them today. That's good. I'll take as many of these we can get. Lots of little microquakes relieve a lot of energy. This area seems to reduce a lot of magnitude and pressure before it comes into the Bay Area. 1.2 coming in, 1.6 hitting there, 1.7 on the other side of Daly City there. Moving on down, just little guys. Whoops. A little activity up here in Reno. Oh, actually, this is a Virginia city. Well, oh, well, well. Let me take a peek at what we have here. 2.3? What else? Are you kidding me? All right. I guess I'm going out there tonight and gonna go shake, rattle, and roll. Where's this at? All right. Sorry, I gotta kind of check some local things too, make sure. Whoops. Dang, man. Sorry, my hand is going numb. I have pinched nerves in my neck and pins and needles, and pretty soon you don't even feel much anymore. I'm not complaining, I'm just trying to hope you understand it. 2.4. Okay, so good, good, good. Mainly just mid-range twos, nothing too bad through that region. What I do want to talk about really quick is this little area still swarming out really good. Okay, mid-range two, or twos, mid-range twos, and mid-range ones. So still our weak spot swarming out. We got this area over here in Nevada that had Indian. Oh, that's the Searless Valley. This little spot out there, but it's not doing too much right now. So go interior a little bit, some activity here in Utah. All right. Wow, look at this area. Quick check here. Magnitude twos in Texas. There's a bigger one hiding in here. 3.2 and a 3.1 here in Mentone, Texas. Okay. A lot of two in 2.8, some higher twos, mid-range twos and stuff coming, and threes coming in at Texas there. Good indicator of pressure being relieved in our perforations, okay? Twos over there. Please just a tad bit more. There we go. Now, close that out. As we come over here, you can back out one more. All right. Here we are on the Craton right there. I want to check this in Oklahoma. Okay, now here on the Craton, that's a 2, and we had 2.3. So a little movement on this side of the Craton and a little movement on this side of the Craton as well. So pressure being relieved, pretty much equal magnitudes right there on either side. Nothing going up through there today. That's good. But this is a fulcrum point quake almost. You see how the Craton comes up like that, turns around, goes back down. Dutch Sense is right on a lot of his stuff. Okay. I love Dutch Sense. I learned a lot from the man. I agree with him on a lot of stuff, but there's other stuff that we disagree on, which is okay. It's okay to agree to disagree. Okay. But, he's a good guy. He's trying the best he can. And the Craton that he's showing, yeah, here's a fulcrum point on the Craton. You can see it come up, turn direction, do 180. Fulcrum point quake, 2.3. We got to watch that area. That's going to be our weak spot right there. Why? Because it's right on the fulcrum. How many YouTubers just shout everybody else out? 4.5 down at 10 here in Jamaica. Remember I showed you the purple island of Jamaica? Finally, we are starting to see results out of that. A mid-range 4 popping off here in Jamaica. There's pressure building under this area. And now we're seeing strong SO2 emissions, and that's not enough. We're seeing mid-range 4 at the surface, it's Stony Hill. Yeah, we go to Stony Hill and burn one, right? Shake, rattle, and roll up there too while you're at it. Now, coming over here, we have also a 4.1 Angilla. Okay, so big jump in magnitude here in this region. We're up to 4 magnitude. Okay, I'm not even checking this site. These things are all weak. It's going off here and here, baby. All right, so there's your earthquake report. Oh, wait, quick little stop at Hawaii here. 2.4, 2.5. Okay, those are the biggest. There's the, there's a three. So a three, some mid-range twos, and some other smaller quakes kind of scattered around, relieving energy at this site. We had a volcanic eruption here a while back, but then once it stopped, it probably, well, it cools in the lava tube. It cools down in the perforation that it came up through and blocks it. So you have an eruption, but then if there's nothing behind it, it'll cool, block up that vent, and then you get earthquake activity around the region until something new pops open. So, until something new pops open, there's your release of pressure in the area there. That's the hub of the Pacific Rim. If the Pacific Rim were a bicycle rim, that would be where all the spokes meet in the middle at the hub. Meanwhile, ongoing earthquake, really quick, 5.2 right there, Izu Island, Japan. All right, now we can start exiting out of some of this stuff. Do you guys have any questions really quick before I go Xing out of this stuff and we move on? Yeah, what's going on in Lahaina? Maybe you're asking somebody in the chat. Or just kind of covered that. Are they having fires there or something? All right, so really quick. Maybe there's a party in Lahaina. All right. Let me clear out some of these guys. Boom. Get this out of there. We want that for our. Oh, I should have left that too. And now we can open up a volcano report. Sorry, I got an old laptop that's just limping along. If we have too many pages open, 34 and 31. Whoops, can you see that up there? There we go. 34 erupting and 31 in warning. Whoa, 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 whoa. We did not need all that. 34, 31, 65. Okay, 65 volcanoes erupting. If I'd have told you 7 years ago when all this stuff started happening to me that we would have 65 currently active volcanoes, you would have said, Brian, you are crazy. And here we are, 65 current volcanoes, and I am still crazy about you. Yes, I am. That's why I do this. All right, let's move on. Say what? That was all we had for volcanoes today. Fuego. Oh, you know why? It just turned. I guess because we started early, that's why. Let's get into today, which is now yesterday, because, well, time flies still at this channel. Even when we're early, it's still flying. Stromboli going active, but kind of for the moment is kind of quieting down. Good. Ebico, 11,000 feet. Ebico, Ebico, tomato, Caribbean. Possible eruption at 11,000 feet. Now, besides the ad, thank you, Lord, this new Alade in the northern Kurils. Another 10,000 foot blast out of our brand new volcano. Okay, it jumped onto the list at 11,000 feet, and here it is again today at 10,000. Here's Medvedya, NASA's Fire Information Resource Management showed heat source at the summit of the crater. Okay, here we go. This one again, gonna pop off because got another heat source at the crater. Suinosi gene erupted. Where's my flight level? Oh, there it is, 6,000. IBU, EBU, or take some ibuprofen, Brian. 8,000 feet. IBU at 8,000. Luatobi 10. Merapi on Java, 12,000 feet. Samaru, whoa. Oh, 16 ounces. I was going to say, did it break its new record? But nope, 15,000. That's been its max. Okay, maybe the vent size or the tube size or whatever only allows it to blow as hard as it can at 15,000, but it's been maxing out at 15,000 every day for, well, I guess since I started reporting on volcanoes. I mean, we could go back before I started reporting on volcanoes. It was probably still erupting. Back then, it was 14,000. And it beat its personal best, 5 months ago, something like that. And changed from 14,000 foot blasts to continuous 15,000 foot blasts on a daily basis. Consider all the ash that puts in the air right there. Moving on to Dacono, which only farted at 8,000. My bad. White Island still going. Continuous low-level eruption. Keep those elite on their toes. Popocatépetl, Novier, Santa Guido 15, Fuego 16, Sangay, and then Sabancaya at 24. Do not look at these lists, okay? These lists will desensitize you as to the urgency of the situation. You will just look at this and think this is regular activity. No, this is insanity, what we're looking at, okay? All of these active, minor activity, all of these currently erupting. I mean, I'm just kind of going through it really fast because I don't want you guys to get too used to getting this list and just kind of going, oh, yeah, the list. Take this 64 and double it. That's 128. That's 128 on the ocean floor, okay, because 2/3, we're just doing a rough little estimate. 2/3 of the planet water, so double this, which would be 168, and then add this back onto it. And then we're having a lot of volcanic activity. Yeah. A lot of pressure underneath. Why? Well, because of the sun. All right. While this is loading up, I'm going to take a second. I'll be right back. You guys can go have a smoke real quick if you want. I'll be right back in 1 second here. Where did the kitty go? Stuck out there now. Here. Oh, okay. There we go. Now it's all loaded up. All right, so weather very volatile. So many different factors in our weather: more moisture, more particulates, heavier rain, more precipitation, stronger storms, just spiritual realm. I even seen what looked like our technology fighting back against the weather. So It's just so volatile that these forecasts are really kind of only about 3 days deep or any good. So here we go. Our current conditions, nighttime of the 16th, we still have rain in this low pressure, this comma shaped low right here. Don't let it deceive you that it's not intense right now. But as we go into the morning of the 17th, noon, convection. Down here, this second little tail forming in here. Watch through there as well as this leading edge. Then we got pop-ups flaring up back in here. Moisture making into the Pacific Northwest up here finally. Okay, finally a little bit of moisture on the land right there. Chance for thunderstorms up there. Oh, help me, Lord. That's a convection tomorrow. Tomorrow night, little pop-up. Ooh, look up here in Washington. So watch out, Marfugel and everybody up in Washington there, Oregon, even up here in Utah, running down through Mexico, this whole thing right there by the nighttime tomorrow. Now, as we get into the 17th or the 18th here, I want to back up and remind you, please, Lord, can we have this back? Just, please, Lord Jesus, can we have this site back, please? Thank you. There we go. Sorry, I got to do that, but August 18th, G1. Now, depending on how strong our storm is, all right, we just went through the 17th. Here we go with possible geomagnetic enhancement on the 18th. Microsoft, you have a problem, dude. Thank you. You keep interrupting my show. That's your problem. Okay, now, morning time of the 18th, possible enhancement, but there's not much out there. We still have this coming into the Pacific Northwest. There's the noon time. See these pop-ups up here in Canada. Watch out, Canada. There we go. Convection with possible enhancement on August 18th, right in Pennsylvania, New York area. I can only go one zoom on this instrument, but I'm going to do it right there. This target zone right there, there's Long Island right there. A lot of people in that area. And don't be surprised, this thing lights up going down, as well as see these pockets up here in the north. All that could intensify with, I hate that arrow on this one. All that could intensify, and this as well, on convection of the 18th. Do you hear me? Convection of the 18th. I would watch that time frame very carefully right there, especially for that region. And let me just talk about for here at New York, Pennsylvania, Baltimore area right there. Large hail, heavy rains, high wind, power outage. Okay, a lot of people in that area. This is going to knock out the power. Okay, so just expect that might be the case and get ready. Okay. Meanwhile, you dodge this. That's what you should be thankful for. You dodge that. But meanwhile, you're still going to get this with possible enhancement at convection. Now let's go into nighttime. Still there. Okay, you see how all this connected now into one big long storm front. Noon, convection, nighttime. And that's possible enhancement there too. Okay, now as we move on into the 19th, noon, convection, nighttime. After this, it's kind of up in the air. Well, we're into the 20th. We still got 3 days. Well, the rest of this kind of up in the air, really. Morning, there's the, morning of the 20th, noon, convection up at the Canadian border, nighttime. Morning of the 21st, see, it's still there, noon, convection, nighttime, Canada, I'm telling you guys. Morning of the 22nd, noon, convection, nighttime. Warm, moist air coming way up here. It won't cause severe weather until it runs into some cold air. Cold air now is way up here by the Canadian border. It's no longer it's no longer driving down in here and making Tornado Alley in this area. Tornado Alley's way up in here now, so watch out. and going up into Canada like that. That's the morning of the 23rd, noon, convection, nighttime, 24, noon, convection, nighttime, 25, noon, convection. See that activity up there in Canada like that? Nighttime. This low at noon goes like that at convection, and then nighttime. Watch out up there in Canada. Morning of the 26th, noon, convection, nighttime 27, noon, convection, nighttime 28, noon, convection, nighttime 29, convection, nighttime 30, noon, convection, nighttime 4, 31st, noon, convection, nighttime 1. Okay. And we're done. So okay, my main concern, watch this low. Just be careful. It's dumping rain and stuff. And then as we go into tomorrow, there's the morning, noontime, and then convection. Little pop-ups here, possibly back there. This second little arm right through there. So watch that area. And then at nighttime, not too bad, but mainly up here, Washington now. Okay. So tomorrow night, you guys up in Puget Sound, Washington area up there, hold on tight. You're gonna have some severe weather coming through that area. Even up here in Utah, this corner of Utah. Remember, I showed you some severe weather coming into Utah, and we talked about the geomagnetic enhancement to that. Did you see what happened to Utah? There is some video out there. I should show it, but it's just kind of disheartening. But it walloped them. Okay, I wish you get reach a bigger audience, but as we go into the morning of the 18th, noon, convection right there, and nighttime. Those are our two events right there. The nighttime of the 18th, and right there, convection on the 17th, and nighttime. Okay, nighttime up there. All right, so there's your weather report. All right, we're done. We did it. We made it through the astrophysics, through the geophysics, and now it's time to take a deep breath and relax as we get into the metaphysics of it. Okay? Now, we're not talking your new age metaphysics, blah, blah, blah stuff. We're talking the real thing here. So, what I'm going to do is pull up a few images here while we X out of some stuff and open up others and transition into our spiritual report. Speaking of which, you guys today, a bunch of you are just like on fire, like overcoming stuff left and right. Like you're knocking them down like it's like like you're a seasoned veteran now. Who was it? There was somebody out there had their salvage moment today, and it was so quickly done that they went to go back and recall it and couldn't even recall what was it that I got upset about earlier today. It was something I can't remember what it was because you salvaged it so quickly. Well done. That's how you're supposed to be able to just bounce right off, let that stuff bounce off of you, salvage it really quick, and just keep plowing forward. So, congratulations to you today. You know who you are, too, because I felt you. You're just on fire, too. I'm so happy for you. That's what brings me joy is when you guys get the hang of this stuff. Okay? It's important that you do because you're going to need this here in the future. Okay, we're just pulling up our regular little stuff here. What I'm going to do is play this little video really quick just to kind of get you guys a few other people here up to speed. So I know there's a lot of activity going on the sun, but I really don't feel like reporting on that stuff right now. Actually, I want to go back and revisit an event that happened earlier this year, 2020, around Easter, when I captured what appears to be Jesus in the clouds here. So I need you to tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees, and here's an eye, his other eye, his nose, his mouth, his chin and beard, his hair flowing back like this, and you can make out a crown up here above his head.
That crown is hovering over his head. There seems to be almost a little halo around his head, too. And once you see that image, then we can zoom in just a little bit tighter. There you go. Okay, and this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event, and I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book, and you can see the different images, and that this event, is taking place here because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus's face and the lion face.
Too big.
Now this happened in the clouds, and it was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed out.
Kind of like I just did there.
Them. You didn't zoom in. They're too big in your face. You have to zoom out to see these. And these images that you're looking at have all been compressed, each frame, and then put into a flip book. And you can clearly see Jesus' face here with his crown hovering over his head, turning into that weird little lion face or whatever right there.
Okay, and that's the one little GIF that's on this little thing that they messed up. They took a couple of frames out of it and just slaughtered it. So I just wanted to show you that video really quick of the face change in there. Here we can even just kind of mute that and just let that go for a second there so you can wrap your mind around what's going on there. All right. And then we got to pull up another image here. Let's just freeze that right there. I got to pull up this one too. Where is that? Face by the moon. Okay. Well, I want it out of there. Okay. The face that was captured out by the moon. Yes, the infamous face by the moon. Unfortunately, it's my face. And I'm like, oh, jeez, now here's my face that's been showing up in the clouds. It's showing up in the moon. By the moon here, we're going to pull up this one, actually. The one with the heart in it. Because that's when these faces in the clouds that follow me everywhere I go, well, the face has changed one day into my face. And I'm like, what? What's going on now? Clouds are mimicking me, making my face in the clouds right here. And then it wasn't until I looked back and it was coming from this right here. So let me just kind of, there we go. You can see Jesus pulling open his shirt there, like Superman ripping open his shirt, exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out these, propagating these waves and making this face in the clouds. Okay. These faces in the clouds are being made by all the spiritual realm. Okay, we're in that time, right? You see all the signs. It says when you see this happening, look up. You'll see me coming in the clouds. Well, I saw the signs and I looked up and started squeezing pictures, right? And this is what we captured. All right. So very important image right here that you understand that everything that's going on really is coming from a place of love. All right. It may not seem like it. You're going through trials and tribulations, but that's what makes you tougher. Okay. Whew. Now we got that. This one and what else, Lord? We got that one pulled up. Okay. Very important that you understand There's a real event. Okay, you got to trust me. This was very painful to take these pictures and to hold my arms up like that. In fact, later on in this video, here is me with my arms outstretched, holding out my camera, pointed at the sky. The clouds are mimicking me holding up my camera or holding up my cell phone. Okay, can you see this? There's the cell phone right there. Here's my arms outstretched. Here's my head and my face. I'm grimacing because it hurts. Okay, and a lot of this activity doesn't start to happen until I'm in a fair amount of pain. Okay, and so these pictures are a lot of pain that you're looking at too. Okay, my heart was racing. I have a shattered shoulder, so it hurts to hold my arms up anyway. So to do this was all the blood ran out of my arms and got weak. My heart's racing. My kids are like, "Dad, what are you doing? You're gonna die." I said, "No, I just need to get these last few frames here. I'll get as many of them as I can. All right. This is your foundation. This is your rock. This is a 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter. It should shake the foundations of this planet, of the world. But no, we're all caught up in Kamala and what's going on all around, right? Well, it's time you get caught up with me in the clouds. Okay, I can't come over and hang out at your house right now and put my arm around you and give you a big hug. And I want to meet with you. So I got to meet with you in the air of cyberspace. We were here on live on YouTube, meeting in the air. You're fascinated, you're intrigued, you're caught up like a good book. You're fascinated by it. You're caught up in a good book, caught up in a good song, caught up in a good movie. You guys get caught up in a good live stream. Here's my favorite new one, caught up in TikTok or those YouTube shorts. The moment you open one, it's a couple hours later that you're, 400 deep into it, and you're like, oh, whoa, where have I been for the last hour? You've been caught up in TikTok. Well, here you're caught up with me in the clouds. This is me in the clouds. This is my face, the crown, coming with power and great glory. Okay. So it's important that you hold on to this with everything you got. Okay. Even if, things change and you can never see this image again, you will know. All right. These are real. All right. I've been through some crazy, crazy stuff and nobody believes me. And I got all of it documented. It's not until I finally get, the doctors or judge or police or anybody involved to finally take 5 minutes of their time to take a look at probably the most beautiful thing, life-changing thing you'd ever see in your life, right? See what I'm up against? And nobody believes me. Well, I got my family that believes me. So important that you believe and trust because that's where you get your peace. That's how this works. Okay, you want to know how it works? I'm going to describe to you how it works. Okay, so we're going to start reading here. And what do I got first for you guys? Nope. Yeah, I'm going to start with that one. What's the other second? Okay. So, let's just take a deep breath first, everybody. Okay, we've been through a long journey. It's been hard. I know you guys, it's been a little beyond belief sometimes, right? And that's how I felt at first, too. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening to me. This is just, I'm this normal guy, and my word was gold, and I lost my family, lost everything because of this. But I continue because, well, I know what you guys are going through out there. And just kind of like me, I know that you have been on a long uphill journey and your journey is almost spent. And though you have faltered at times, you have not let go of my hand. And I am pleased with your desire to stay close to me. There is one thing, however, that displeases me, and that's the tendency to complain. So you may talk to me as much as you like about the difficulty of the path that we're following, and I understand better than anyone else the stresses and strains that have afflicted you. So you can vent safely to me because talking with me tempers your thoughts and helps you see things from my perspective. Complaining to others is another matter altogether. It opens the door to deadly sins such as self pity and rage. Okay, we're working on that self pity thing and anger management, which would be kind of rage, right? So, whenever you're tempted to grumble, come to me and talk it out. All right. Back to when I was saying your complaints and you open up your heart to me and pour out your heart to me, instead of just sitting there and complaining about how bad things are, oh, I didn't get my way, this, that, oh, start off your complaint with a Jesus, please help me, then lay in with your complaint. Started off with a Jesus, please help me. These people are on their cell phones at a green light. I need to get somewhere and it's irritating me. All right. Then your complaint now, you have opened up to me. Now we can work together on fixing that problem, huh? But if you just go on complaining, no, 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 well, you're not appreciating all the blessings that you have. And then complaining to others is like totally forbidden. If that's a whole nother matter altogether. Because when you do that, it opens the door to self pity. Okay, we're trying to avoid that slippery pit of self pity. Because once you get one foot in there, it will suck the other one in, and you are gone for the rest of the day, the rest of the week. Shoot, you slip in too far, you'll be in depression for the rest of the month or your life, right? And we can't have that. Okay. Um, I know you're weary. You're on this long uphill journey with me, okay? And I know we faltered or you faltered at times, but you haven't let go. That's good. Just keep holding on. That's it's what you got is me and my hand. So, just keep holding on. You can talk to me as much as you like about the difficulty. All right? Just form it, put it in the form of a prayer, and then pour out your heart to me. Okay? Pour out your heart. Okay? It doesn't have to be thy, thou, thou. No, I want to hear some regular English. Jesus, please help me. The mainstream media is driving me nuts. I can't stand the way they lie to the public. Whatever it is, trust me enough. Okay? You can vent to me, but do it right in the form of a prayer. What else do I got for you? Okay, here's another one that somebody was struggling with today. And, well, I work with this one too. So trust me enough to let things happen without striving to predict or control them. All right? That's what we get caught up in is trying to predict and trying to control them. Trying to predict earthquakes, trying to predict volcanoes. We don't try to just predict them. We just report on them, okay? So you got to trust me enough to just let things happen. Stop striving to predict and control stuff. Relax and refresh yourself in the light of my everlasting love. Is this the Continues on to the. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah. Again, take a deep breath. I'm in control. Quit, quit trying to be in control. Trust me enough. Relax. Let me be in control. Refresh yourself in the light of my everlasting love. Okay, see these rays coming out? They're kind of illuminating the clouds, right? They light them up a little bit. So that's my love light. And my love light never dims. Yet you are often unaware of my radiant presence. So when you project yourself into the future, rehearsing what you will do or say, you are seeking to be self sufficient, to be, well, adequate without my help. And this is a subtle sin, so common that it usually slips by unnoticed. Well, it's just a subtle sin. But when you project yourself into the future and rehearsing, you're trying to be in control. You're trying to be self sufficient. Okay. And that usually goes unnoticed. The alternative, though, to that is to live fully in the present moment, depending on me each moment. So rather than fearing your inadequacy, rejoice in my abundant supply. Train your mind to seek my help continually, even when you feel competent enough to handle something by yourself. Okay? I got this. Hold my beer. Right? Nope. Hang on. Even when you feel competent, it's good to ask me into it. Invite me in. Train your mind to seek my help continually. It's hard to do. Sounds easy, hard to do. But when you do it, you find results. And those are the results that we're looking for. We want results here. Okay, I'm not here to just blow smoke. I deliver results. Okay. If you practice it, if you trust me enough, to let things happen and stop striving to predict and control them. Okay. Seek my help continually, even when you feel competent enough. Don't divide your life into things that you can do by yourself and things that require my help. Because we have a bad habit of doing that. I do it myself. I'll dive headlong into something and totally forget. And I did. I divided my life into things that I control by myself and things that require my help. So instead, learn to rely on me in every situation. And this discipline will enable you to enjoy life. Did you know that? I am giving you the key to enjoy life even in these closing moments. It's a discipline. You have to work at it. Okay. But this discipline will enable you to enjoy life more and to face each day confidently. Confidently. Some of you are just walking confidently now, and I love it. I love it. You're going and getting them now. I'm proud of you. You're really trying this on. You're finding it. That's what excites me. That's what makes me happy is when people practice the disciplines, they find the art of self-control, how to salvage a day, the art of salvaging a day also. Okay. You just keep practicing. It's progress, not perfection. And when you wait, I got some more stuff here for you. Where was this other card that I had? Oh, here it is. All right. Okay, so we're going to switch back to that for just a second. Right there, when you look at that, I want you to know something. I am the culmination of all your hopes and desires. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, who is, like right here, right now, and was, like back then, and is to come. Brian Knight is coming like a lion. Okay? I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am the one who is and was and is to come. I am the culmination of all your hopes and desires. Before you knew me, you expressed your longing for me, but it was in different ways. You were ever so vulnerable to the evil around you in the world. But now, oh, now my presence safely shields you, enfolding you in my loving arms. I have indeed lifted you out of darkness and into my marvelous light. Okay, so before you met me, before you came to this channel, you expressed your longing for me, but sometimes it was in different ways and sometimes hurtful ways, but you were so vulnerable to evil in the world. But now, now that you're here at this channel, now that you see my face, now that you know that I'm watching over you, but now, oh, now my presence, just me being here, just my mere presence safely shields you, enfolding you into my loving arms. See my loving arms pulling open my shirt right here, expressing my face in the clouds right here. Okay, I want you to know that I am the culmination of all your hopes and desires. Okay, my presence here now shields you, enfolding you in loving arms. I have indeed lifted you out of the darkness of this world, and you are here live and in the light of my marvelous light. And though I have brought many pleasures into your life, not one of them is essential. Receiving my blessings with open hands, now that's essential. Enjoy my good gifts, but do not cling to them. Turn your attention to the giver of all good things. All right. So you can enjoy these images. Okay. These are beautiful images. Enjoy them. Okay. But do not cling to them. Don't forget the giver. Who's the giver of these? Who's showing you these images and talking to you right now? Oh, yeah, the dude behind the mouse and the camera here. Even though those are beautiful images and you are looking at true miracles, don't cling to them too tightly. You must remember the giver of all the good things. Then rest in the knowledge that you are now complete in me. Enjoy my good gifts. Don't cling to them. Turn your attention to the giver of all good things and rest in the knowledge that you are indeed complete now in me. The one thing you absolutely need is the one thing you can never lose. That's my presence with you. Yay, you should rejoice. Because the one thing you can never lose is my presence with you. And that's the one thing you absolutely need. Okay? It's not your wants, it's not your pleasures. It's one thing that you absolutely need is my presence with you. That crosses over into this. So we go backward from that to, yeah, to this. Ooh, okay, so while we're here relaxing, breathe deep, relax, be at joy, be at peace, be still. Okay? Take a deep breath, take time to be still in my presence. The more hassled you feel, the more you need this sacred time and space of communion with me. Again, take a deep breath, breathe slowly and deeply, relax in my holy presence. Right there, that face right there, because that's what the light is shining on my face right now. I'm looking down at my notes just like that face right there. I want you to be still in my presence. The more hassled you feel, the more you need this time with me. Breathe slowly, deeply, relax. You are in my holy presence while my face shines upon you. This is how you receive my peace, which I always offer to you. Breathe slowly and deeply and relax in my holy presence. Holy presence does not mean a goody goody. Holy means set aside for divine purposes. Okay? Set aside for divine purposes. My presence was set aside for divine purpose. So you can relax in my holy presence while my face shines upon you. And this is how you receive my peace. Imagine the pain I feel when my children tie themselves up in anxious knots, ignoring my gift of peace. I died a criminal's death to secure this blessing for you. So receive it gratefully. Hide it in your heart. My peace is an inner treasure growing within you as you trust me. Proportional. The more you trust, the more it grows within. My peace is an inner treasure growing within as you trust in me. Therefore, circumstances cannot touch it. Do you understand me? The peace that I put inside you, circumstances cannot touch it. So be still, enjoying peace in my presence. Feel better now? Guys, feel a little better? You're enjoying peace in my presence? Because this is indeed me, okay? I have all this stuff. These are all real miracles, okay? You are in my presence, so be still, enjoying the peace in my presence. I'm going to close with that, but I got some PS notes, okay? I know some people are in a lot of pain, okay? I'm in excruciating pain too. I don't really go talking about too much about it. I'm trying not to complain. I can relate, though, is what I'm saying. So be prepared to suffer for me, but what that means is all suffering has meaning in my kingdom, okay? Pain and problems are opportunities to demonstrate your trust in me. Bearing your circumstances bravely and even thanking me for them is one of the highest forms of praise. The sacrifice of thanksgiving, when you're thanking me you're bearing your circumstances and your pain bravely, and you're still thanking me for them. That sacrifice of thanksgiving rings golden toned bells of joy throughout heavenly realms. On earth, also, your patient suffering sends out ripples of good tidings in ever widening circles. Ripples of good tidings in ever widening circles. Do you see it there? Let me back that image up just a little bit. We're too close. Right there. We can just do the arrow right there. Do you see the radiating coming out in ever widening circles? Okay. So, your sacrifice of thanksgiving while you're still going through pain actually rings golden bells of joy throughout the heavenly realms. Your patient suffering sends out ripples of good tidings in ever widening circles, just like that image right there. So, when your suffering strikes, remember that I am sovereign and that I can bring good out of everything. So do not try to run from pain or hide from problems. Okay? Do not try to run from pain. Do not try to hide from problems. Instead, accept adversity. Okay? Here we are again with that word accept. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. So, learn to accept your pain. Yes, Kitty, I'm coming, Bubba. And learn to accept adversity, because when you accept them, you're not running or hiding from the pain or the problems. You're accepting the adversity in my name. Okay? So accept the adversity in my name, offering it up to me for my purposes. Thus, your suffering now gains meaning and draws you closer to me. Oh, you can relate to me now in my pain and my suffering because you're going through it too. Now you can relate to me. Aha. Thus, your suffering gains meaning. Your suffering has meaning. It's not just a bunch of pain. It makes you tougher. When you accept adversity in my name, your suffering gains meaning and draws you closer to me. Joy emerges from the ashes of adversity through your trust and thankfulness in me. Do you understand how joy can emerge from the ashes of adversity? Try to make joy emerge from the ashes of your adversity. Look at your pain in a different light or a different perspective. Your suffering is sends out ripples of good tidings. Okay, so all that suffering is not for nothing. Okay, I know you're in a lot of pain. I am too, and I feel it. I can feel your pain as well. So just understand that in my kingdom, all suffering has meaning. Oh, most people's suffering has no meaning unless they're in my kingdom. And what a waste of suffering. So, your patient suffering sends out ripples of good tidings, which is love. Your patient suffering sends out ripples of love. Just like that image right there. You're doing the same thing when you're thankful and you're bearing your circumstances bravely. Now you're gaining courage too. You're bearing your circumstances bravely. Now you know what it feels like to kind of be a hero, kind of. You can feel it inside. You're facing your circumstances bravely now. You're not just sitting there whining. Okay. That was the PS. That was the postscript, the added notes. Let me reread the closer. Look at that. And then this, my face right there, crystal clear. It's three-dimensional. It's not a fluke. It's out by the moon. Only God can do that, all right? Take the time to be still in my presence. The more hassled you feel, the more you need this time. Breathe slowly and deeply. Relax in my holy presence while my face shines upon you. And this is how you receive my peace, which I always offer you. So, receive it gratefully, hide it in your heart. My peace is an inner treasure that's growing within you as you trust in me. So they're relative. The more you trust, uh, the you more peace you gain. So my peace is the inner treasure growing within as you trust in me, and therefore the circumstances cannot touch it. So that enables you to be still, enjoying peace in my presence. All right? I love you all. I love you guys. See that heart right there? I love you. I miss you. And until my next show, I will be back. You are caught up with me in the clouds. Okay? Go look in the Bible. The word rapture isn't there. The rapture technically is happening now. It's been happening for 6 years. I've been showing up in the clouds. And if you'd see me, you'd get caught up in it, right? So, you're caught up with me in the clouds. Like to meet with you in the air of cyberspace. So we met in the air so I can be with my family. You're caught up with me in the clouds. You are truly, well, raptured already, but that word's not in the Bible. It's more of a feeling inside of your heart, knowing that you are now complete. Okay? I've taken your faith to knowing. You know that your prayers have power. You know that your prayers are heard. You know you're practicing these disciplines. You are taking your day by day struggle and salvaging a day. If a day goes south, you don't let it ruin the rest of the day. You got to salvage it, try to recover it. Then, when you do, you start to shine like this, and then you shine my light into others' lives. When your face is shining, that's how you can help others. If you're still having a bad day, well, how are you going to help somebody when you're in a bad mood? It's not going to work. So you have to salvage your day so you can shine my light into others. Once you practice this discipline, you will find peace still in your circumstances. It still might rattle you. Every time something starts to rattle you, take a deep breath, stop. Think of these images right here. These ones here in the cloud on Easter, 2,000-year-old prophecy come true. Turned into a lion face. I showed you that. The lion of the tribe of Judah. You are truly my children, okay? If you're here 2 hours and 20 minutes into, I can't give 5 minutes of anybody's time, and you gave me 2 hours and 20 minutes of your time, you are truly my children. You are learning patience. You are finding victory through patience and persistence, looking at your mistakes as opportunities, looking at everything through a different perspective now. And you are mastering your emotions, okay? We're killing the ego. Ego is edging God out. You need to edge God back in. It needs to be central in your life. Every little thing that you do, try to include me in there. Okay? Real thing, real deal. And you guys are very, very blessed. Okay? There's a lot of people out there. Okay? There's a lot of channels out there. Let me just say this really quick. There are here in America. There's around 300 and some odd million people, right? Well, in YouTube, there's 300 million different channels. Of all the channels, you came to mine, and out of the 300 million people, you're here. I get about 300 viewers. Okay. So out of the 300 million, you're one of the 300 that makes you one in a million. You understand how that works? Out of the 350 million people in this country, I only get 350 views. Do the math. That makes you one in a million, doesn't it? See how I did that? And then out of all the million of channels out there, you come to me. So I'm one in a million to you, and you are one in a million to me. Do you see how I just did that? Do you understand how that works? Okay? Truly blessed. This family is truly blessed. Okay? The more you trust in me proportionally, the more peace you will get, strength, patience, courage. Okay? You're going to finish this race strong. I know you are. You got me as your coach. Okay? I know you're going to finish strong. All right? I love you. I miss you. Until my next show, I will be back. I am a man of my word. I will be back. In fact, I am already back, aren't I? Told you I'm a man of my word. I told you I would be back, and I am back. And I'm still to come, too. I love you. Until my next show, I'll be back.